JD sir, unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Okay. Very warm welcome in 22nd session of this online orientation course, How to Approach Research in Social Science, Conceptualization and Methodological Intervention. It is a semester-long program which started in July 2020 and it will last till December 2020. This program is organized by Savitribai Phule Mahila PG Mahavidyalaya Sikar in association with Department of Geography Government Lohia College Churu, Department of Geography Government Arts College Sikar and Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Shekhawati University Sikar. Today we have a young speaker with us, Dr. Madhulika Sahu. She is young but she is having a very vibrant research experience. And I am happy that she is going to speak on a very relevant topic, that how to do this field work during the lockdown, which is a dire need of many of the participants here also. And today we have a report presentation of the previous session. In Hindi, this will be done by Mukesh Swami, and in English, this will be done by Renu Bagadia. And today report writing will be done by Nimish and Shubhendu Mukherjee. First, for the report in English, I request Renu Bagadia to give a brief of the last session.
Good evening to all. The previous lecture of the research course was presented by Professor Ravi S. Singh on qualitative research methods. He started his lecture by explaining the different colors of life. He presented the cultural diversity of India through various attractive photographs. He referred to the festivals of various states of India. After this, he first explained the characteristics of the research. Research should contain controlled, relevant, logical, systematic, verified, and empirical and critical features. Then he told about academic research. Describing the characteristics of qualitative research, he said that this is also the type of scientific research that seeks answer to question, collects facts, produces result. Professor Singh describes the characteristics of qualitative and quantitative research, cited three types of qualitative research, including oral, lexical, and observational. Professor Singh then elaborated the limitations of qualitative research, in which the problem of contextual sensitivity, reliability, and anecdotal including. Finally, Professor Singh concludes the lecture presenting the philosophical concept of phenomenology. Thank you.
Thank you Renu for nice recap of the previous session. और अब हिंदी में पिछले सेशन के सार के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करता हूं मुकेश स्वामी को.
धन्यवाद सर. सभी को नमस्कार. शोध का पाठ्यक्रम का पिछला व्याख्यान प्रोफेसर रवि एस सिंह के द्वारा गुणात्मक शोध विधियों पर प्रस्तुत किया गया. उन्होंने अपने व्याख्यान की शुरुआत जीवन के विभिन्न रंगों को बताते हुए की. उन्होंने विभिन्न आकर्षक छायाचित्रों के माध्यम से भारत की सांस्कृतिक विविधता को बताया. उन्होंने भारत के विभिन्न राज्यों के त्योहारों का उल्लेख किया. इसके उपरांत अपने शोध विषय की व्याख्या करते हुए सबसे पहले उन्होंने शोध की विशेषताएं बताई. शोध में नियंत्रित, प्रासंगिक, तार्किक, क्रमबद्ध, वैधानिक, आनुभविक तथा गुणात्मक विशेषताएं समाहित होनी चाहिए. तत्पश्चात शैक्षिक शोध के बारे में बताया. गुणात्मक शोध की विशेषताओं को बताते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि यह भी वैज्ञानिक शोध का ही प्रकार है जो प्रश्न के उत्तर खोजता है, तथ्यों का संग्रहण करता है तथा परिणामों को प्रस्तुत करता है. प्रोफेसर सिंह ने मात्रात्मक तथा गुणात्मक शोध की विशेषताओं का विवरण किया. उन्होंने गुणात्मक शोध के 3 प्रकार बताए, जिसमें मौखिक, शाब्दिक तथा अवलोकन सम्मिलित है. इसके बाद प्रोफेसर सिंह ने इन प्रकारों की विस्तृत व्याख्या की. फिर गुणात्मक शोध की सीमाओं के बारे में बताया, जिनमें प्रासंगिक, संवेदनशीलता, विश्वसनीयता की समस्या को बताया. अंत में प्रोफेसर सिंह ने घटना विज्ञान की दार्शनिक अवधारणा को प्रस्तुत करते हुए व्याख्यान की समाप्ति की. धन्यवाद.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मुकेश, सुंदर सार प्रस्तुत करने के लिए. और जैसा कि आप सभी को पता है कि कल हमने क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च मेथड्स की बात की थी और आज हम उसी को आगे बढ़ाएंगे. Today we have a young researcher with us, Dr. Madhulika. Dr. Madhulika Sahu is going to speak on qualitative method and approaches, techniques of doing field work during the lockdown. If she is around, then Madhulika, are you getting me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Very good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to all.
And now for the moderation of today's session, I request my friend, Dr. Ravindra Kumar, to carry forward the session. Dr. Ravindra Kumar.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to Dr. Madhulika Sahu for her presentation. Before inviting Dr. Madhulika, I would like to give a brief biodata of Dr. Madhulika. She is an anthropologist by training, currently working as assistant professor in the School of Business, Vellore Institute of Technology, University, Andhra Pradesh. Her work mostly focuses on communities displaced by disasters and development. She holds MA Anthropology from Savitribai Phule Pune University, MA in Refugee Studies from the University of East London, and PhD from National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. Her PhD research was on the reproductive healthcare practices and challenges among the displaced indigenous communities in India. Her research interest includes climate change adaptation, disaster-affected displaced persons, ethnography, tribal development, and gender studies. She is also a regional coordinator to the Avoidable Death Network, working with a team of international experts on disaster and health on unavoidable death due to COVID-19. She has over 8 years of experience working with forced migrants in India and the United Kingdom. She has worked with different governments and non-government organizations such as Anthropological Survey of India, Government of India, UNICEF, UNDP, Independent Asylum Commission, Refugee Council in various capacities. Dr. Sahu has published more than 10 research papers in peer-reviewed international and national journals. She has also co-authored a book titled Bisipada Changing Milieu, Biocultural Diversity, Environment and Sustainable Development, Anthropological Survey of India. I welcome Dr. Madhulika Sahu, and now I invite her for his lecture. Dr. Madhulika Sahu, please.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. And thank you, Jitendra Soni sir, for giving me this opportunity. मुझे इस अपॉर्चुनिटी देने के लिए, इस मंच में आप सभी से बात करने के लिए और मेरा एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करने के लिए, before I start, I am getting some noise in the background. Is it possible to mute?
सब muted है.
I could hear some
Okay.
noise.
Yes, ma'am. You wait for 1 minute. I'll just.
Now you can start.
Now
I can
you
start?
unmute, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the participants, and good evening, moderators and organizer. My special thanks to Savitribai Phule Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Sikar, Rajasthan, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Shekhawat University, Sikar, Rajasthan, Department of Geography, Government Arts College, Sikar, Rajasthan, Department of Geography, Government Lohia College, Churu, Rajasthan, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and talk on a very important topic on qualitative methods and approaches, techniques of doing field work during lockdown. These are my contents. I'll be covering different methods and approaches in qualitative research. आप सभी लोगों ने introduction part sir ने cover किया है, and yesterday you all might have had good interaction with sir. So आज बिना समय नष्ट करते हुए मैं कुछ important चीज़ों के ऊपर focus करना चाहूँगी, that is more on technical part, टेक्निक्स इन क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, जिसके मैंने 2 पार्ट किया है। एक में टेक्निक्स ऑफ डेटा कलेक्शन एंड टेक्निक्स ऑफ डेटा एनालिसिस के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत बताऊंगी। देन डूइंग फील्ड वर्क इन लॉकडाउन, कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट कुछ इम्पॉर्टेंट टेक्निक्स जो डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यूज करे आज के डेट में, और मेरे कुछ स्टूडेंट्स भी मैंने ट्रेनिंग दिया है, और किस प्रकार से वो लोग उस ट्रेनिंग को ये अच्छे तरीके से यूज किया है वो मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगी। एंड एज आई सेड, आई विल बी आल्सो डिस्कसिंग ऑन टेक्निक्स इन क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एनालिसिस and some important research ethics that is one has to keep in mind if you are doing qualitative research, and some reference books that as a researcher should refer to, some important books. So let me start with a very is it possible to have full screen? Because okay, good. Yeah, I can see my own screen. I was not able to see my own screen. Okay, thank you. So let me start with a very interesting quote by Spradley. I want to understand the world from your point of view. I want to know what you know in the way you know it. I want to understand the meaning of your experience, to walk in your shoes, to feel things as you feel them, to explain things as you explain them. Will you become my teacher and help me understand? इतने अच्छी तरीके से it has been mentioned, it has beautifully written, which covers everything. We ask the participants to be our teacher, to tell us their experiences. We go to the field, we talk to the people, our participants, and then we try to know their experience. That is all what we want in qualitative research. So let me begin with some general information on qualitative research. I'm sure yesterday many things might have discussed. I just want to touch upon very important aspects that are that in very general term, qualitative research encompasses a variety of designs and methods. A holistic approach to questions, a recognition that human realities are complex research questions, tends to be very broad. Here, what qualitative researcher is more focused on human experience. This is a turn towards subjective or people's realities. हम reality को cover करते हैं, लोगों के experience को जानना चाहते हैं. Okay, and there are various methods various techniques that a researcher use. Some of the important techniques such as participant observation, in-depth structure interviews. The data produced provide a description. Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you carry on.
Yes, ma'am, you carry on.
Disturbance.
Okay, sorry. So it covers the events, the events that talks about the situation, stories, emotion, expression. हम emotion और expression को हम number के द्वारा हम capture नहीं कर पाएंगे. We have to talk to people, and that the methods that we use are mostly through interaction. हम observe भी करते हैं और यहाँ पे उनसे बात भी करते हैं. तो यहाँ दोनों तरीके से होता है कि हम कैसे लोगों के बारे में जाने, उनका इमोशन, उनका एक्सप्रेशन, उनका पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस. There are certain important definition of qualitative research. A form of systematic empirical inquiry into meaning. हम जो empirical information लाते हैं, it has some meaning, So this means that qualitative researchers study things in the natural setting. हम घर बैठ के उस चीज को हम कलेक्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे. We go to people. हम natural setting में जाके उनसे बात करके information लाते हैं. Attempt to make sense or to interpret phenomena. I'm sure you all have known about phenomenology. So it is what you are trying to understand, the phenomena that you are surrounded with, the reality that you are surrounded with. तो वो नेचुरल सेटिंग में जब हम जाते हैं, जो रियलिटी को स्टडी करते हैं, we get a meaning out of it. We interpret those data. Another important definition of qualitative research may be stated then as involving broadly stated question about human experiences and realities. As I said previously, we deal with the realities, human experiences that studied through sustained contact with person in their natural environments. producing rich description data. The data जो हम लेके आते हैं लोगों से बात करके, that are very, very rich. Those are very rich data and that has got some meaning to do with the reality. Now, why should one use qualitative research method? The reason, yes, hello?
Madhulika, I'm JD Soni.
Yes, sir.
Just
Sir, I cannot hear you.
I'm just, this you just do one thing. I'll just mute. You just unmute afterwards, right?
Okay, sir.
Madhulika, please unmute.
Yes.
Now you will not face any problem. The meeting will go very smooth.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
So why do one need a qualitative research method? हमें qualitative research method का क्या ज़रूरत है? So the reason is that it gives a systematic discovery of social events. It value natural settings where the researcher can better understand people lived experiences. हम डेटा लेके आते हैं COVID-19 में so many deaths are happening, but क्यों क्या कारण के लिए actually लोग मर रहे हैं? Those reasons are a very rich information. The reason behind certain events that you see, that the lived experiences. So researcher express qualitative data in participants' words, in images, and important in sometimes in numbers. So here language, verbal and non-verbal has a symbolic meaning. हम जो कोट करते हैं लोगों से बात लेके इंफॉर्मेशन लेके आते हैं, we sometimes quote in our study. Those are the very important symbolic meaning that gives to our lived experiences. Okay, so the qualitative research process is more flexible and emergent and iterative. It is flexible because we constantly interplay, we try to redesign and we keep on discovering new facts, which emerge continuously. हम फील्ड में जाते हैं, लोगों से बात करते हैं, हम in the process of doing interview, in the process of doing observation, we constantly, getting new things. So so it makes it more flexible. The investigator is always in touch of the research process, observing how participants respond to the topic and examining data for fresh insights that might lead to altering their technique. कभी हम इंटरव्यू करते हैं तो कभी फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशन करते हैं to get more insight to the topic. It gives a reflexivity. The researcher critical awareness is a vital process in which you question and observe yourself at the same time. You listen to observe the participant. It is a very important part which I will be discussing in the technique when I will start the technique of collecting data. हम ऑब्जर्व तब तक करते हैं जब हम सैचुरेशन पॉइंट तक नहीं आते हैं कि वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट मोर इंफॉर्मेशन आउट फ्रॉम दिस. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड अ सैचुरेशन. इन समरी, a qualitative researcher seeks answer to the question, systematically uses to predefined set of procedure. हम questions हमारे मन में आते हैं, we go by the assumption, we don't go by the hypothesis. We go by the assumption, we go by the question and try to get the answer to the question. हम evidences collect करते हैं. It provides findings that were not determined in an advance. हमें पता नहीं कि क्या है इसका कारण, इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या है. हम जाते हैं, why there are so many deaths in a community, why there is a neonatal death amongst the tribal community, which I will be sharing from my own work when we proceed. तो उसका हम evidences collect करते हैं to understand इसका कारण क्यों है. So qualitative research is especially effective in obtaining culturally specific information about the values, opinion, behaviors, and social context. We also try to understand human behaviors, beliefs, opinion, emotions, relationships of the individuals. Now let us come to the different approaches in qualitative research. Now, I'm sure in yesterday's talk, sir might have covered positivist and post-positivist aspects. Now, post-positivist researchers agreed with the positivist paradigm, but believe that environmental and individual differences, such as the learning culture or the learner's capacity to learn, influence in the reality, and that these differences are important. हम नंबर्स के साथ हम जो आंकड़ा कलेक्ट करते हैं कि ये सेंसस में इतना ये दिख रहा है कि इतना मोर्टेलिटी रेट और फर्टिलिटी रेट है, एट द सेम टाइम वी नीड द रीजन, एंड दोज आर पार्ट ऑफ अ post-positivist approach. Qualitative researcher brings voices of the participants. This is I keep on saying, constantly saying, कि हमें कारण चाहिए, and those कारण are nothing but the voices of the participants. The reflexivity of the researcher and a complex description of interpretation of problems, and it extends the literature or signals or a call of action. जब हम लेके आते हैं, voices लेके आते हैं, it emerge, it calls for a action कि हम इस पे काम करें, इस मुद्दे पे काम करें, इस theory पे काम करें to get more insight into it. Now let us see what are the different approaches. So these are the different approaches that I will be covering: ethnographic, narrative, phenomenology, grounded theory, case study, participatory rural appraisal. So let us go one by one. Ethnography is a very important approach used by many anthropologists, sociologists, and even now many management scholars are also using ethnographic approach to their study. Now, what is ethnography? Ethnography is nothing but I study a community. I write about the community. So anthropologist or ethnographer will go to a community, stay for years together to study that community in detail, to understand their culture, their beliefs. In ethnography, you immerse yourself to the target participants and environment to understand their goals, their cultures, challenges, motivation, themes that emerge. हम पूरा उस कम्युनिटी के साथ रहते हैं, उनके साथ मिलते हैं, उनके काम में उनका हाथ बटाते हैं, तो you understand the challenges, the motivations that revolve around in a community. As I said, ethnography is it's a route to cultural anthropology. And there are different techniques that are used in ethnography. You will be given orientation. I have seen in the course list that there is somebody who is going to speak more on ethnography. So without taking much time, let me also give you a little bit of information on what are the other things that an ethnographer can do. अभी बहुत ट्रेंड चल रहा है फिल्म्स, वीडियोस एंड फोटोग्राफ्स का. जब हम कम्युनिटी को जाते हैं, वी टेंड टू कलेक्ट as many photos we can about their practices, about the marriages. If it is happening, we try to click photos. What are the different rituals they would be performing? If there is a puja happening, if there is an event happening around, we try to record it in the video, in a video form. It is a very important tool of ethnography. It do speak about the human experiences, lived experiences. So filming is a powerful tool for inquiry into past events. Film has the ability to capture visible phenomena, seemingly yet always a perspective of a filmmaker. कि यहाँ पे जो किसने फिल्म बनाया है और क्या चीज के ऊपर फिल्म बनाया है, वहाँ it's very important. It gives a lot of meaning to the it speaks out what the photograph or the video about the event, about the phenomena that revolves around. Another approach is the narrative approach. The narrative approach weaves together the sequence of events, usually from just one or two individuals, to form a cohesive story. In-depth interviews, read documents. It mostly includes the archival records. You take biography of a particular person. It can goes for a month. It can goes for a years. So if you want to interview one, you are writing about one particular person. you spend time to interview that person with a break. That is nothing but a narrative approach where you use interview technique to and archival records to read documents to write about a particular person or a place or a event. Now phenomenology, since sir has already covered phenomenology, so let me just give you a brief on what phenomenology means to study a phenomena. As I said earlier, phenomena may be an event, situation, experiences, or concepts. Phenomenology is a way of describing something that exists on an integral part of the world that we are living. So everything that you are surrounded with, a phenomena that is happening around, that is nothing but the phenomenology. We try to study, we try to take that approach to study. Another very important approach is grounded theory. Now, grounded theory has been used by many sociologists and anthropologists to come up with a theory. Now, the theory that we are studying, they have used grounded theory approach to come up with that theory. Now, how does it work? Whereas a phenomenological study looks to describe the essence of the activity or event, grounded theory looks at provide explanation of theory behind the events. हम डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, उसमें कॉन्सेप्ट्स लाते हैं, उस कॉन्सेप्ट से हम एक थ्योरी बिल्डअप करते हैं which talks about that event. One of the very prominent example that coming to my mind was Emile Durkheim, who's a sociologist. What he studied was the suicide cases amongst the Protestants and the Catholic. Why there is more number of deaths amongst the Protestants than the Catholic? So he tried to collect data and he come up with a social structure theory. So one of the best known qualitative approach, grounded theory, aims to generate theories that explain social processes or action through analysis of data. जो हम डेटा लेके आते हैं through the experiences that they have put it in the data, हम उसको analyze करके and it takes lot of time in fact. हम यहाँ पे थ्योरी पहले से नहीं होता है हमारे पास. We go by the event, we go by the situation, and then you collect as much information as possible till you reach the saturation point to develop that theory. So in grounded theory, the researcher does not commence the process of research with predetermined theory in mind. This is what I was exactly trying to say. We do not have a predetermined theory in our mind. The main feature of grounded theory research in the development of new theory through the collection and analysis of data from phenomenology. So this is how grounded theory steps are like. So you collect data, then you develop concepts, then you develop category, then you develop properties, then you come up with a theory. So you collect data to come up with some concepts. The concepts is nothing but the question that comes to your mind, the event that you have focused on, and that is what क्यों होता है इधर, कारण हम जो ढूंढते हैं वो हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट बन जाता है, और जब हम मिलता है उस कारण का एक रीजन तो वो एक कैटेगरी बन जाता है. I'll come to that when I will be talking about analyzing data. Another very important approach is case study. Case study has become very popular amongst the management studies. Case study method has been used in management. The method itself is used to teach in the classroom. The Harvard Business School, they use case study method to teach the management scholar. I teach in management. I teach in School of Management. So my dean who is from IIM, he talks about case study method all the time. तो मैं अपने आप को क्वेश्चन करती हूँ कि जो केस स्टडी मैंने सोशल साइंसेस में पढ़ा था, क्या मैनेजमेंट में इज इट सेम और डिफरेंट? Then I establish the fact that it is used as a technique to teach the students, whereas in social sciences it is a method to collect the data. So a case study are analysis of person, events, decision periods, projects, policies, institution. It has a variety. You can work on coronavirus as a case study. You can do it as a case study. About a particular event, you can talk about Dashera as a case study. So it can be a period, it can be an institution. As an institution, you can take any institution, any government institution or any private institution. How does it work? Vellore Institute of Technology, how it has been established. We use a case study method. Now, case study method is a descriptive or explanatory. A case study research is used to describe an entity that forms a single unit, such as a person or organization or an institution, as I said earlier. The case study aims to recommend a wealth and depth of information which is not usually offered by other methods. So यहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं? We use different methods to different techniques of qualitative research to do a case study of a particular event or institutions or a decision or a person. So it could be observation method, it could be interview method, it could be focus group discussion. I'll be talking about these techniques in the next few slides. Another important approach is participatory rural appraisal. Participatory rural appraisal are mostly used in action research, mostly in any governmental and non-governmental organization working with the community to bring up with a solution to any particular problem they are facing. So appraisal is a finding out information about problems, needs and potential of a village. Participatory means the people are involved in the process. A bottom up approach, यहाँ पे लोगों के साथ मिलके, उनके साथ बैठ के, उनके समस्या को समझ के, उनके साथ उसका solution निकालना is what participatory rural appraisal method is. It's a learning rural life and their environment from rural people. So, however, it is not just restricted to rural people. This method is also used in the urban setting as well. So this is my example. I can show it when I was working with the organization. This is the work I have worked with Niyamgiri tribal people. तो उनके साथ बैठ के उनके समस्या को समझना और solution निकालना. You can see how I'm sitting with those people and trying to understand their problem and coming up with some solution. Now, important aspect of qualitative research is the techniques. What are the different techniques that you will use to use those approaches that I have just talked about? The phenomenology, case study, narrative, ethnography. तो वो approach को use करने के लिए हमें क्या techniques we'll have to use to collect data. So let us see what are the different techniques in qualitative research. Now, one of the very important technique that are used by many anthropologists and sociologists, even now by market researcher and any other social sciences discipline, is the observation method. One of the very prominent figure in anthropology is Bronislaw Malinowski, who propounded participant observation method when he was working with Trobriand Islanders. Now, what is participant observation? So when he was sitting with the tribal community, when he was trying to understand their culture, he had to participate with them to understand what each object that they were using, the material culture that they were surrounded with. तो उनके साथ मिलके उनको observe करके उनके बारे में लिखना. You participate with the people, the community that you are working with. Now there are various phases of observation. Selection of a setting, हम कहाँ जाते हैं, किसको observe करते हैं, it's a very important thing you will have to keep in mind. Where my target topic, my community, this is where I wanted to go, this is what I wanted to observe this community because this is my topic. The definition of what is to be documented. हम एक ये सोच में लेके जाते हैं दिमाग में कि हम क्या ऑब्जर्व करेंगे. The training of observers is in order to standardize such focuses, descriptive observes that provide an initial general presentation of the field. हम उनको observe करते हैं जहाँ the realities that is happening around us, the events that are happening around us. देन हम फोकस करते हैं कि एक पूरे हम पहले ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, पहले हम जाते हैं कम्युनिटी में, हम बिना पार्टिसिपेट किए हम जस्ट जाके ऑब्जर्व करते हैं एंड देन slowly we try to focus on one particular thing that this is what I have come here to observe. That is nothing but the focused observation. Concentrate on the aspects that relevant to research question. जब हम research question develop करते हैं, and then we know that okay, this is what I should focus on. Then after focusing, you try to select कि हम उसमें से क्या observe करना चाहिए. You select that are intended to purposely draft central aspect to your research question. So this is a typical picture of how a participant and non-participant observation should be. As I said, participant observation where you participate with the community people and you try to observe. Non-participant observation where you do not participate and then you observe. You will be discussed more about these techniques when person from, saw that in the list somebody is going to speak on ethnography. So these techniques will obviously be discussed in detail when you will be delivered lecture on ethnography. So one of the important aspects that I wanted to point out here is Gold in 1958. So what did he said? An observer can go from complete participant as observer, then observer as participant, then become a complete observer. So the phases that I said here, this is what exactly will replicate here when you try to apply that in real. Complete participant to the participant as observer, then the observer as participant, then you become a complete observer when you try to be selective on what you want to observe. Now the important technique that I said in the beginning, interview. Interview plays a very important role in ethnography, in ethnographic approach or qualitative research. As it is mentioned in my previous slide, there are two kinds, structured and unstructured, and semi-structured, of course. So where you have some open-ended question, close-ended question. One of the point I wanted to, because I saw that there are a lot of session will be given you on interview schedule, how you should be preparing interview schedule. But I just wanted to focus on very important aspect of interview that is given by Anne Oakley in 1981. What she said? She said that objectification of capturing people in the neutral research. The use of respondents therefore focus on non-hierarchical relationship in the interview. So it is nothing but power sharing. हम लोगों के ऊपर डिपेंड करते हैं उनसे इंफॉर्मेशन लाने के लिए. हम अगर जाएंगे बोलेंगे कि हमें सब कुछ आता है, ये द पर्सन हो, क्योंकि मैं एक रिसर्चर हूँ, मैंने ये क्वेश्चन डेवलप किया है तो मुझे पता है ज़्यादा. इट्स रॉन्ग. You don't know. You have gone there to get the information. So here you will have to share the power to the other person, to your respondents, to reciprocate. As I said, structured interview, unstructured and narrative interview, where a researcher has to go with a purpose. The purpose of doing the interview is a procedure used to collecting data through a person-to-person contact between the interviewer and respondents. One more important thing I wanted to also point out here is developing a rapport. If you want to collect a good interview, developing a rapport is very important. अभी रैपो क्या है? हम जब जाते हैं कम्युनिटी में, हम उनसे we cannot go and just bombard with lot of question. We have to explain our objective. हम वहाँ पे जाते हैं, हम क्यों आए हैं इस कम्युनिटी में, क्यों लोगों से बात करना चाहते हैं. You establish a rapport, you establish a friendly relationship with the respondents and yourself to get their time to collect information. Now, another important technique is focus group discussion. Focus group discussion is one of the most popular qualitative research method. It is a discussion guided by moderator. यहाँ पे researcher will play a role of a moderator. जो question बनाएगा, लेके जाएगा, identify करेगा, किससे हम बात करना है, किस तरीके से बात करना है. Till the end, the moderator has to play a very important role. So it is a form of a qualitative research where questions are asked about the perception, attitudes, beliefs, opinion, or ideas. Now your mind must be questioning कि मैंने तो इंटरव्यू कर लिया है, why I need a focus group discussion. You may not get good number of information in the interview. The things that you have missed out, the questions that are not answered, you may get surprisingly here in focus group discussion. Focus group discussion consists of more than 6 people, between usually 8 to 12. Usually what I do in my field work, I do interview first. So from the interview, I identify कि हम इनमें से कौन रहेगा focus group discussion में. So I identify जो लोग मेरे इंटरव्यू में अच्छे से कुछ लोग जो आंसर नहीं दिए हैं, कुछ लोग आंसर दिए अच्छे से, पर उनको पता है पर बोलना वो दिक्कत हो रहा है. So I identify those people to sit together for another round of discussion, that is focus group discussion. So the group composition and the group discussion should be carefully planned. You cannot just pick up like that, it has to be non-intimidated environment. The participant feel free to talk openly and give honest opinions. So you need to be very careful when you are choosing the participants. So additionally, as FDCs are structured and directed, but also it's expressive. हम यहाँ पे लोगों के इमोशन, एक्सप्रेशन, बिलीव्स, ओपिनियन सब कैप्चर कर पाते हैं in a focus group discussion. It is more in-depth information. These are the role of a moderator. As I said, a moderator has a very important role to play, starting from explaining the purpose of your study, to asking questions, to seeking responses, to finishing the focus group discussion. Now, when you are finishing the focus group discussion, it is very important to collect the contact name and numbers of the participant. Why would you need that? क्योंकि जब हम फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशन करते हैं 8 से 12 लोगों के अंदर, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे रिस्पॉन्सेज आते हैं, हम उसको रिकॉर्ड करते हैं. सो इस रिकॉर्ड जब हम उसको बैठते हैं एनालिसिस उसको ट्रांसक्राइब करने के लिए, बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन हमें जब हम घर आते हैं और उसको बैठते हैं, उसको ट्रांसक्राइब करते हैं और सुनते हैं, बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलता है हमें. फॉर दैट रीजन यू नीड टू collect the contact name and numbers of the participants to collect more information, or you can invite them for another round of focus group discussion. Now, having said this, you can see from the pictures how people are sitting, how a usual focus group discussion should be like. Now, there are certain important things that I wanted to point out here. While you are doing focus group discussion, any researcher you ask might have faced this awkward situation. I have myself faced this awkward situation. Breakaway conversations, silence, dominance, leadership, disruptions by the participant, defensivenesses by the participants. Breakaway conversation where the लोग वहाँ पे एक टॉपिक से दूसरे टॉपिक तक पहुँच जाते हैं. कोई तो साइलेंट रह जाते हैं. आदिवासी लोगों से बात करना, वो उनसे इंफॉर्मेशन लेना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. वो लोग साइलेंट बैठते हैं. Some people will be too dominating, won't be allowing other to answer. There would be some leaders who would be leading the team and then everybody will be following. हमें वहाँ पे biasness बहुत मिलता है. They have to be very careful whom to choose, where to sit, and design it very well structured so you get good number of responses without having any awkward situation. Now, when you face this kind of awkward situation, the best is best play here is your rapport. Your rapport with the community. What I usually do is I identify few people who is aware of each and every person in the village. May it be a small kid, may it be a woman, may it be a literate person in the village who can accompany me during the interview, during the focus group discussion. So if any such of awkward situation happened, so this person who is accompanying me, the village person, will help me to avoid such kind of situation, can explain in their own language. That person can be your interpreter even. So this kind of information are very important, when you are doing focus group discussion. And you should also be very particular, like how to handle it. You cannot misbehave with the participants. You cannot raise your voice. You cannot stop them. You cannot have, status symbol. You cannot show the status symbol that you have come from a city, that they should listen to you. Have to be very polite and decent to handle such kind of a situation. Another very important technique that you all are here to know, that is netnography. Netnography is nothing but doing data collection digitally. Kuzinet, who is a social scientist, he tried to understand the virtual world. So in the process, he developed this technique known as network data collection analysis and research presentation. So billions of individuals joins into networks, partake in a complex world that not only reflects and reveals their lived experiences, but it also itself a unique and social phenomena. Netnography can help you to understand the virtual world that we all are living today. Now that we are in lockdown, we are so much dependent on the virtual world, that social media ho ya WhatsApp ho ya voice chat ho ya kuch bhi ho, we are trying to communicate through this medium, through digital medium. Now you can use this medium to collect the data. You can do your study using this platform. Netnography compiles and analyze data about free social behavior in individuals on the internet, and it can be ethnography of virtual world, netnography, digital ethnography, where you are trying to study why people are depending so much on social media. Some of my students are working on cyberbullying, how bullying is happening in cyberspace. Virtual world can be equated with the actual world. हम बुलिंग आज के डेट में हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि क्लासेस में हो रहा है, कॉलेजेस में हो रहा है, स्कूल्स में हो रहा है, बट इट इज हैपनिंग इन वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड. People are posting offensive messages about people. They are hacking people account and trying to manipulate their image. So you capture the thoughts, emotions, or feelings that revolve around in the form of avatar. That the avatar that we are using in the form of emotions in the capture, we try to understand them and we try to know that how people are so attached to this kind of virtual world. That is nothing but netnography. Now, having collect all this information, how you're going to relate? You have done focus group discussion, you have done observation, you have done interviews. Now you have so much of data, how you are going to work on this data. One of the important technique is triangulation. Triangulation as a keyword is used to name the combination of different methods, study groups, local and temporal settings, and different theoretical perspectives in dealing with the phenomenon. So here what you are trying to do is you are trying to bring those data that you have collected and you're triangulating it to understand which is more relevant to your topic. इंटरव्यू में जो आया, केस स्टडी जो ऑब्जर्वेशन में आया, जो फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशन में आया, इज इट ऑल इंटरलिंक्ड और इट्स कमिंग डिफरेंटली, एंड यू यूज दिस मेथड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डेटा यू हैव collected, the combined data down from different sources at different times in different places or from different people, that which I just mentioned. Completely new type of data such as electronic data or opening up further, you can also triangulate the images, the videos, to understand which is linked to each other. Now, the important aspect of this talk is doing field work in lockdown. Now, field work in lockdown has become a bigger question amongst the research community. I have attended few webinars where they have raised question that how we should do the data collection in lockdown. When you are in lockdown, how you are going to collect the emotion, the expression, and their voices? How is it possible? It is possible. It is indeed possible. There is a small video I wanted to show you at the end of my lecture. It is how organization have used some of the digital technique to collect the data in lockdown. So digital ethnography, so you have to go digital to collect the data. If you are in lockdown and you have a concern that how am I supposed to do the data collection, you have to understand this digital world that many of us are surrounded with, that we are living with. The digital ethnography describes the process and methodology of doing ethnographic research in a digital space. I just mentioned that we are living in a digital space. We have to use this as a, where we can collect the data. हम इसी माध्यम को लेके हम data collect करेंगे जहाँ पे हम रह रहे हैं. So large networks such as Facebook, Twitter, and their own groups, subgroups, sets as a culture that gravitate towards each other. कि हम लोगों से बात करते हैं through Facebook, through Twitter, and many other social groups have formed where we are daily interacting with our friends. So these are some of the methods, some of the techniques that you can use to collect the data. You can open a WhatsApp group participants को invite करो, WhatsApp group में लो, then you post question, उनसे information लो. Skype calls, you can do Skype calls, video call कर सकते हो to collect the interview. But as I have missed out in the interview, I should also mention it here, and you should also keep in mind while you are doing interview, taking consent of the participant, which is a very, very important aspect. लोगों उनसे परमिशन, पार्टिसिपेट से परमिशन लेना कि वो हमारे स्टडी में शामिल होना चाहते हैं या नहीं, क्या हमें समय देना चाहते हैं या नहीं इंटरव्यू अटेंड करने के लिए, उनसे परमिशन लेना बहुत ज़रूरी है. द कंसेंट कैन बी ओरली, कैन बी रिटन. Okay, the written can be in a form of an email or form of a WhatsApp message. Are they willing to participate in my study? You can always call them and say that I'm doing this kind of study. Are you willing to participate in my study? Video call करे, WhatsApp video call करे to conduct a semi-structured interview. Zoom और या तो Google Meet you can organize to do a focus group discussion. 4 लोगों को लेके बिठा के you can do a focus group discussion. You can see face to face. Another method of doing survey is Google survey. You can chalk down your questions and you can circulate to collect the data. Screen capture software, website archiving tools, these are some of the important digital tools that you can use for data collection. Now, how you should do it? What is the process? The first process, as I said, you need to contact the person. You have to contact the person first. You need to identify and contact the person that I am going to do so and so study, then taking their consent, establishing rapport. उनसे बात करो, उनको रेडी करो कि हम इस चीज़ के पर बात करना चाहते हैं. उनसे फ्रेंडली तरीके से बात करो, 1-2 बार पहले बात करो, एंड देन यू सेट अप अपॉइंटमेंट दैट कि मैम सर क्या मैं इस डेट में आपको कांटेक्ट कर सकती हूँ, क्या हम बात कर सकते हैं, हम इंटरव्यू कर सकते हैं. that itself is enough. The consent is enough to go ahead with the interview. Contacting, if you are working with a community, अगर हमें कुछ रूरल कम्युनिटी के साथ काम कर रहे हैं और we are here in lockdown, how we should contact? So best method is to contact the local government. You conduct a webinar, you invite them to the webinar, conduct a webinar, invite them, and you explain the objective of your study. May it could be a panchayat office, may it could be village leader. उनके पास तो इंटरनेट का माध्यम है, उनसे बात करने के लिए you can invite them and you can explain. Through them you can collect some phone numbers of people who can participate in your study. Then you explain the purpose of the study. You can also demonstrate it through video in the webinar. And then when you get the contact key informant's number from the local government or the local village leader, you contact them over the phone. आजकल तो सभी के पास व्हाट्सएप है, इंटरनेट स्मार्टफोन यूज कर रहे हैं, मोदी जी का मन की बात भी सुनते हैं, तो व्हाई नॉट, दे वुड बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू interact with you, because the number has been collected through medium, through community, through local government or through village leader. Then you have to follow constantly. call them, ask them to send some pictures, the videos, that becomes your data. These are some of how my students have done. They have done video calls they have done interviews, they have done focus group discussion, they have formed WhatsApp group. So these are some of the images that I have collected from them to showcase here. One of the student tried to put the image of the WhatsApp data that he has collected as part of his topic. So these are some of the methods you can use during the lockdown. Now, very important aspects of qualitative research is data analysis. Like many researchers face problem at this stage when we sit to analyze the data. How we should analyze all this data that we have collected. Let us see one by one how we can do it. One of the very important method that many qualitative researchers use is content analysis method. Content analysis method are also used by the management scholar as well. ये सिर्फ सोशल साइंसेस में यूज नहीं होता है, ये मैनेजमेंट स्कॉलर भी यूज करते हैं कंटेंट एनालिसिस मेथड. एंड कंटेंट एनालिसिस मेथड कैन बी क्वांटिटेटिव and can be done qualitatively, can be done quantitatively. Now let us see how we can do content analysis. Content analysis is very different to grounded theory. Content analysis में क्या होता है, we have a theory in with us. Now many researchers who are doing qualitative research, they have a hypothesis, they have a theory to study and then prepare questions and then develop a interview schedule. So based on that, you plan your study design, starting with the theory that you want to test. I will show the example that the theory that I have worked during my PhD time. I'll show how I have done the analysis and what process I have used. Then creating a set of codes for the variables. The theory हम जो study करते हैं उसमें से हम identify करते हैं कि okay, this is what I wanted to study in my topic. तो वो variables हम identify करते हैं. Then in that variables, that becomes your code in your data, that data you have collected. Applying those codes systematically to the set of text. So जो हम data लेके आते हैं उसको पहले cleansing करते हैं, then उसको हम cleansing is nothing but where you identify which are the important thing that you need for your you might have collected a lot of data apart from your objective, the research objectives that you have set. So based on that, you need to cleanse your information, the data that you have collected. After that, you will have to, transcribe the data. Transcribe the data is where you transcribe, where you write. जो हम इंटरव्यू किए होंगे, जो FGD किए होंगे, उसको पूरा डिटेल लिखते हैं. Then you come to this stage where you have to do the analysis. How? Then, as I said, theory first and then set of codes and variables, then applying those codes systematically to the set of text. जो हम interviews, जो हमारे पास जो transcription है, हम उसको लेके लेते हैं and we identify those कि यहाँ कौन सा text is visible for which codes. Testing the reliability of the coders when more than one applies to the codes set of text. Then create a unit of analysis by variable metrics from the text and codes. This is a flow chart of how you should follow the process. Code frame, definition of codes and coding interpretation rules, instruction for coders. Coders instruction is usually used when you have more than one researcher working in a project. Now coming to my own topic, using 3 delay model, which I have used in my study. This paper recently got published in a Springer journal, using 3 delay model to understand the social factor responsible for neonatal deaths among displaced tribal communities in India, which was published in Journal of Immigrant and Minority Health. So यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया है कि मैंने पहले देखा कि मॉडल क्या बोलता है. This model was propounded by Thieres and Mann in 1990. जहाँ पे ये बोलते हैं कि न्यूनेटल डेथ होता है 3 डिले के कारण. That is delay in deciding to seek care, delay in reaching hospital, then delay in receiving quality care. तो मैंने क्या किया अपने स्टडी में, you can see here, I have identified delays in my study using You can see in the right hand side, there is a flow chart which talks about the main category, generic category and subcategory. So these are nothing but the how I come up with the result of these delays, that is there. The delay that you see here, which I have come after. This is not the analysis of this data. This is something else I have put just to give a example. ये इसका data नहीं है, ये किसी और का चीज का है. मैंने बस इसको एग्जाम्पल में लाने के लिए आपको दिखाया है कि आप इस तरीके से आप ले सकते हो कि how you should design, how you should come up with the main category, then generic category, subcategory. So मैंने ऐसे categories बना के this delays I have come up with, and then factors associated for the delays of where neonatal deaths were happening amongst the tribal communities. Another form of using the theoretical framework for using the content analysis. This is a capability approach, Nussbaum Central Human Capabilities. This got also published recently, Reproductive Healthcare Status of Displaced Tribal Women in India, an analysis using Nussbaum Central Human Capabilities, which was published in Healthcare for Women International. तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ पे मैंने देखा कि जो ओरिजिनल थ्योरी है वो ये फंक्शनिंग और कैपेबिलिटीज के बारे में बताती है. तो मैंने क्या किया, तो मैंने अपने टॉपिक, मेरा जो टॉपिक था कि मेरा जो डेटा कलेक्ट हुआ था उसमें से क्या ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज निकल रहा था, why there was, what are those capabilities and functioning that was not making or making them people to have or having or not having access to the services. So these are the findings. The findings मैंने क्या किया है, यहाँ पे जो each of what the categories are saying, I have put the quote of what people are saying, the voices which I have mentioned in my earlier slides. So these are the voices coming up from the different tribal women that they have expressed during the interviews and focus group discussion. Now, many of you have aware that now qualitative research, as quantitative researchers are using the some softwares, even qualitative researchers are also using some sort of softwares to analyze the data. That is nothing but computer assisted qualitative data analysis softwares. So one of the software, I will just give you a glance about it. It required the entire session. Another, like, it required a lot of session to make you understand how the software work and how you should do it. Required the software itself to run and run the data. Okay. So one of the very widely used software is Atlas TI. NVivo is also widely used amongst many Indian universities are still not very advanced in using the quantitative software. बट फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में काफ़ी सारी जगह में अभी सॉफ्टवेयर यूज़ कर रहे हैं टू एनालाइज द डेटा. So what these softwares they do is they software designed to organize, manage, analyze and textual audio and visual data as well. तो यहाँ पे क्या करते हैं, तो पूरा हम ट्रांसक्राइब जो करते हैं ये पूरा हम as a project हम इसमें अपलोड करते हैं, and then and you feed the codes that has come, and वो कोड वो वहाँ पे ब्लिंक करेगा कि किस किस जगह पे ये कोड can be applicable, or it is there where you can pick up from the transcriptions. So it offers a variety of tools of accomplishing the task associated with the systematic approach of unstructured data. तो जो हमारे पास जो unstructured data होता है उसको हम कैसे systematically use करते हैं, and then उसमें process करके you can come up with some models even. Okay, so that is the benefit of using Atlas TI or any softwares like Atlas TI or NVivo. There are many softwares, in fact, you can Google and you will find there are many, but these are the standard software which is used. You may get a trial version, 15 days trial version from the online to just to explore how it works. So in course of such and qualitative analysis, Atlas TI helps to explore the complex phenomena hidden in your data. तो कभी कभार क्या होता है कि हम बहुत सारी चीजें छूट जाती है when you are manually analyzing. So this computer will identify those hidden phenomena that you may not be able to identify. So it offers tools to manage, extract, compare and explore the data, and gives a meaningful pieces from a large amount of data. Usually क्या होता है, जैसे नेटनोग्राफी मैंने बताया कि कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अमेजोन या फ्लिपकार्ट जैसे डेटा लेते हैं, फीडबैक लेते हैं, जो फीडबैक इट कम्स इन अ रिटन टेक्स्ट, तो उस कुछ कंपनीज उस चीज को एनालिसिस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, या तो फेसबुक में जो ट्विटर में जो कमेंट्स देते हैं तो उसको कैसे एनालाइज करते हैं. सो दे यूज दिस काइंड ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर्स to process and to compare and to extract and manage lots and lots of data that are there in the social media. Now, why should you use Atlas TA? As I said, it gives meaning, and it works in a huge data. It also gives a great. It also helps the research team to, if there are too many teams are working, it can bring together to one platform to work. It becomes a flexible interference to you visually manage different types of data. As I said, you can transcribe, and it can also have a multimedia files. Import online survey. I was just giving example of different surveys that the data has been used in social media. So usko import karke uske upar kaam karta hai ye software. So it can also export in SPSS, HTML. So these are the features that you can use in these softwares. It also provides extensive manuals, webinars, video tutorials, and online support. ये website I can show you if you can see here. Can you see my screen? What does
Yes,
it? What does it show? The screen? Does it?
Still it is your PPT, ma'am.
Okay, let me then close it. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's your Windows.
Okay, so now this is Atlas TI. You can see how it has a 15 free download free trial. So you may have some time limit to work. So you can also, they have a manual. You can go through the manual and can try to understand. But for that, you need to understand the codes and what are codes, what are categories, the basic things you need to learn. Okay, let me go back to my lecture slide. Can you see my lecture slide?
Not now, ma'am. Yeah, now it is.
Okay, so we are coming to now the ethics in qualitative research. What are the ethics a qualitative researcher should follow? I would say that a qualitative researcher are always been challenged by a quantitative researcher, So you need to be very particular about the ethics that you are following. It not only the quantitative, it is always the other qualitative researcher also challenge. According to Hamsley and Inson in 2007, what they have suggested 5 focal points, 5 focal points in ethics. So let us see those points. Informed consent or passive deception, taking consent from the participants, which I have just mentioned. The consent is very important, and it is also important to mention in your whether it is a report or it is a research paper that you are publishing, has to be mentioned. Privacy has to be maintained. Maintaining privacy of the research participants is very, very important. You need to maintain that. You should not be disclosing their photo or disclosing their names and every details that you have collected, in a public platform. You have to be very particular about maintaining the privacy of the participants that you have collected the data. You should not be doing any harm to the participants. You should keep this point in mind. Exploitation, you do not exploit by charging money from the participants or offering money. I have seen in tribal areas, what foreign researchers, when they go in order to get data, they give money, which become a very wrong practice for other researchers. जब हम लोग जाते हैं, हम जब डेटा कलेक्ट करने जाते हैं, वही आदिवासी लोग हमें पैसे मांगते हैं कि हमें पैसे दो, तब जाके मैं आंसर दूंगा. दैट्स अ वेरी रॉन्ग प्रैक्टिस that any qualitative researcher should not follow. Consequences of future research: acknowledging people under study. Many researchers do not acknowledge कि उन्होंने किस community को study किया है और किसने. Suppose I have an interpreter who helped me throughout the study. मैंने rapport establishment किया and I have taken their help, but I have not acknowledged. That is very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. And they can also post question that why have I not been acknowledged in your study. तो एक्नोलेज करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर कोई आपने किसी का हेल्प लिया है, लाइक आई हैव एक्नोलेज सम ऑफ द NGOs that I have taken help during my PhD work. Now, dealing with these kind of ethics when you are doing research in a when you are doing from a organization or from any institute. So it is the researcher responsibility that कि हम to have a codes of conduct, कि हम देखें कि हमने institutional review board से permission लिया है, then agreement beforehand, official agreement beforehand, like any university, if you are doing it from the university or any organization, you should have a copy of the agreement. Written regulation होना चाहिए कि हाँ ये हमारे written regulations है, these are the code of ethics that we are following in our organization. Now it has Government of India, Ministry of Education has made mandatory that every institute should have a review board, जहाँ पे any research paper or any project, कोई अगर researcher project that board has to pass the project. So that becomes a document key that you have taken permission from a institutional review board. Peer reviews after publication. Review is very important, peer review. That is why it is always suggested to send the public paper to a peer review journal, जहाँ पे कोई सिमिलर एरिया का कोई एक्सपर्ट हो जो आपका रिव्यू करे पेपर एंड देन शेयर द कमेंट. Now I am getting so many review from, I'm doing so many review for 2-3 journals on forced migration, because I've worked on displacement issue, on qualitative research. I'm doing review of qualitative research paper and also some forced migration. So because I have published few paper on this area, so I become that other journal are recognizing, okay, she has worked, she has published few paper in a peer reviewed journal, then I'm getting a call to review for other journal paper. So that is how it works. कि हम जब पेपर पब्लिश करते हैं in a peer reviewed journal, then we become a reviewer in some other journal. So these are the ethics one should follow. Now, one of the very important thing that I wanted to mention, if you go and see the history of qualitative research on ethics, you will always find this Lord Humphrey study of men who have sex with other men in public restroom. So what this student has done is become a watch queen and try to observe those men who are having sex in a public toilet without taking the consent of those people, and then later on getting their address and going to their home to collect more data. So that becomes a research ethics here. Back in those days in 1960s, this became a very big issue. And if you open this tea room study, trade study, you will get lot of information. Any qualitative research you will open on this on controversies, you will find this study which will be talking that how, from where the ethics had come from. This was the path breaking thing that in fact the ethical violation was done on the qualitative research, and then lot of ethics and rules had come up for the researcher to follow. Now one has to follow certain good practices. What are those good practices? As I said, you have to pose questions, bring peers into your research, discussion in the field, discussion during the analysis, discussion during the writing phase. These are some of the good practices that one should follow while they're doing the study. There are certain frauds happening nowadays in qualitative research. It's not only qualitative research, in quantitative research too is happening, or in mixed method study, people are manipulating data or trying to make up data to, to do the fraud. It is a normal human behavior, and it is happening, as I said, happening in all fields. So why people are doing? In the pressure of publication. We need to have publication to show that, okay, I need to get a promotion, I need to have a job. So you have a rat race there. Then you have a monkey of a picking order, that you need to do certain things that your institution is asking to fulfill the criteria. Then you become a Mr. Know-it-all attitude start becoming developing. When you actually, when you do a fraud, you try to showcase that, okay, I have gone to the field, I have collected my data. So one of the very important fraud that I have come across while I teaching my students was smart bags in 1980s, who fabricated the monastery rituals in the Netherlands. He had never gone to Netherlands. He have never seen this monastery, and he has published 61 papers. Imagine the kind of fraud happening. So this is a very common, there are such kind of frauds are happening in many parts of the world. One has to be very careful about this when you are collecting data. So it is important to have a good practices. So what are those good practices? As I said, you need to have peer review, you need to have, fair discussion, bring more people, you present your work in a conference, present your work in a seminar. Then you have to have co-construction, requirement confidentiality, knowledge, then you construction, co-construction. When you have a fraud, when you are seeing a fraud, you will always see a lousy archiving. The person will not have a proper archive. And some of the times the archives may be deleted. Some of them will be making up, data will be making up, blaming informants. अरे मैंने तो कुछ नहीं, मैं तो गया था, वो यही डेटा दिया है, मुझे नहीं पता, वो तो participants ने बोला. So these kind of a thing should not come, where you sacrifice certain important methodological tools that you should be doing. There is no clarity. So these are the various signs where you see that there is a fraud happening. So I'm coming towards the end of my lecture today. These are some of the important books. I usually teach from Flick book and Yin book. These are a very important reference. I have a soft copy. If anybody needs, can just drop me a mail. I can send them. Then ethnography, again, as I was mentioning, ethnography is widely used technique nowadays. These are some of the other books that analyzing the data, then research methods in anthropology. These are some of my field work photographs. The findings that I just presented from some of my work, these are some of the photographs of those people I have worked with. Now, these are my mail ID. If anybody wants to be in touch with me, can always drop me a mail. So before I end, I would like to show you a small video of how our organization is trying to collect data digitally. So let us see a small video, and then we can go for a question and answer round. Okay, so this I've taken from my Facebook. He is the person who is speaking is Professor Roy. He's a founder member of IBARD organization. IBARD is Institutional of Development and Sustainable Development. So let us see what he is saying in this video. Is it visible
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible.
and audible as well?
No, ma'am, no audio.
How do I? Okay, let me just try again. Okay, does it say that in MS Team usually it says that, where you can play the video on the screen where you can hear the voice. Can you hear the voice here?
No, ma'am. No voice.
Huh? No
Hello.
voice?
No voice from your video, ma'am. Actually, we are hearing only your voice here.
Okay, sorry then. What actually this video say is how they are trying to, you can see this is a taken from a mobile. They are trying to use a mobile to connect to people in the villages to collect the data. So they are doing it through video call. You know, they have connected to the villagers through video call and trying to collect information. This is what this video talks about. So that's all for today's talk. So how do I close the screen?
Ma'am, there is an option on top of the screen, center of the screen.
Yeah.
You just put your cursor there, then stop sharing is there.
Okay, there is a new sharing. Okay, stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you patiently listening. Let me have some water. Been constantly.
Sure, ma'am.
Are you getting me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, Madhulika, you want to say any more in your lecture?
No, nothing at the moment. That's all for today. That's there are something to do with
okay.
yeah.
So first, what I'll do, I'll wrap up your lecture, and then this Renu Punia will take the question.
हेलो
मैडम लगता है सोनू जी की आज नेटवर्क
वो लगता है नेटवर्क
Answer session, right?
On behalf of all the team of this semester-long program, I submit my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Madhulika Sahu ma'am. मैम एक्चुअली ये एक हमारे इस पूरे प्रोग्राम का एक पैटर्न है कि स्टार्ट हम आपके बायो नोट से करते हैं और लास्ट डे का जो लेक्चर रहता है उसकी हम समरी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट करते हैं. देन स्पीकर का लेक्चर होता है. उसके बाद हम एक छोटा सा जो टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस या क्वेरीज पार्टिसिपेंट्स की जो आई होती है उसे हम लेते हैं. जस्ट ए मिनट. हाँ जी बोले. हाँ ठीक जी जी. जेडी सर शायद नहीं जुड़ पा रहे हैं इसलिए उन्हीं का एक फोन था कि हम इसे कंटिन्यू करें. तो मैम हम ऐसा करते हैं क्वेश्चन आंसर्स जो हैं क्वेरीज जो हैं वो ले लेते हैं वन बाय वन. और जैसे ही वो जुड़ेंगे या आगे का जो रहेगा वो अपन उसी के अकॉर्डिंग देख लेंगे. तो मैम पार्टिसिपेंट्स जो हैं वो आपने जो दो सॉफ्टवेयर बताए थे एक्चुअली एटलस टीआई और एनवीवो उसके बारे में कुछ क्वेरी थी इनकी. एटलस टीआई का तो वो पूछना चाह रहे थे कि इज इट फ्री सॉफ्टवेयर or just for 15 days trial software?
See, it is not a free software. They have given मैं हिंदी में बात करूं ताकि सबको समझ आए कि ये फ्री सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है, इसको खरीदना पड़ता है. यूजुअली क्या इसीलिए बहुत रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है जो अपने फंड से उसको खरीद के रखते हैं ताकि वो जो जैसे कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है दे आर प्रोफिशिएंसी इन डूइंग क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च. तो काफ़ी एक्सपेंसिव है ये सॉफ्टवेयर, तो उसको खरीद के इंस्टीट्यूशनली खरीद के उसको यूज़ करते हैं. 15-day ट्रायल इज ओनली फॉर टू अंडरस्टैंड द सॉफ्टवेयर कि हम कैसे कैसे इस सॉफ्टवेयर में अपना क्या है, कैसा है। तो इसमें एक आपको दिखेगा मैनुअल, उस मैनुअल के हिसाब से हम देख सकते हैं कि ईच कैटेगरी जो होता है सॉफ्टवेयर्स में, जैसे हम जाते हैं कि क्या है उसमें प्रॉपर्टीज है, तो उसको एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए ही हमें 15 दिन लग जाएंगे। तो बहुत सारे चीजें हैं जानने के लिए। इट्स मोर लाइक SPSS, इट्स मोर देन SPSS आई बिलीव, बिकॉज बहुत सारे अलग अलग फीचर्स हैं इसमें। तो क्योंकि ये वीडियो एनालाइज भी करता है और ऑडियो वीडियो दोनों एनालाइज करता है, तो लॉट ऑफ उसमें फीचर्स हैं।
Thank you, ma'am. One of our participant, Upasna Bhandari, want to know that data collection is very time consuming in qualitative research methods. How to manage it, ma'am?
See, you have to plan it very from the day one कि हम कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं। और मल्टी साइटेड रिसर्च इज क्वाइट टाइम टेकिंग। जो हम 2-3, जैसे मेरा स्टडी था PhD का, मैंने छत्तीसगढ़ और उड़ीसा दोनों जगह पे किया था। तो छत्तीसगढ़ में जगह ढूंढना, रहना, आदिवासी लोगों के पास जाना, वो भी डिस्टेंस है। और कभी कभार ऐसा भी होता है कि वहाँ पे दे हैव सम कम्युनल इश्यूज, तो उसी में भी हमारा टाइम चला जाता है। सो सम नेचुरल फेनोमेना जो है हम उसको तो अवॉइड नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो वी हैव टू गो बाय दैट। सो इट यू नीड टू बी engrossed, as I said in my from the very start of my lecture, कि हम पूरे प्रोसेस में रहते हैं कि एवरी टाइम वी आर अटैच्ड विद द वर्क। तो ताकि हम टाइम एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाए कि इस टाइम के अंदर हमें खत्म करना है, और कुछ ग्रेस पीरियड भी रखना चाहिए इन केस देयर आर सम इश्यूज, तो हाउ डू आई मैनेज। तो उस हिसाब से हमें डिज़ाइन करना चाहिए। हमारा डिज़ाइन, हमारा एक्शन प्लान ही हमें आगे लेके जाती है। जो हम जो रिसर्च फ्रेमवर्क जो हम शुरू में बनाते हैं, उसी टाइम में, वक्त में हमें देखना चाहिए हम जब फील्ड वर्क का प्लानिंग करते हैं उस हिसाब से। और आई वुड सजेस्ट कि मल्टी साइटेड रिसर्च को थोड़ा अवॉइड करें अगर आपका रेपो एस्टेब्लिश अगर नहीं है। मेरे लिए ईजी हो गया बिकॉज मैं पहले उस जगह पे काम कर चुकी थी और कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मेरे साथ जुड़े हुए थे, तो लोगों के पास जाना, उनसे बात करना और उनसे डेटा लेना इजी हो गया। अगर उस हिसाब से जाएं, अगर लोगों को आप पहले से रैपो एस्टेब्लिश है, तो काफ़ी टाइम सेव हो जाता है। सो रैपो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट when you want to avoid time, consuming lot of time.
Thank you, ma'am. हमारे एक बहुत ही रेगुलर पार्टिसिपेंट है CB जॉर्ज, and he understand only English, ma'am. So इस सवाल का जवाब आप इंग्लिश में ही दीजिएगा सर। He actually it's not a question, actually he want to clarification on the thematic analysis in qualitative research.
See, as I said, thematic analysis and content analysis is almost the same, where you try to identify the code and categories, and you try to identify the themes that are more related to the theory that you have following, the theory that you have studied, and you want to use it, the theoretical framework. From there, you identify, okay, these are the themes, what the theory is talking and what my data is coming, and then you coming up with the try to identify those codes and categories to bring those themes that is more identical to the theory that you have used in your study. I hope I answered it to your question, Dr. CV
George.
Yeah, George.
Yeah. Another question is from Shubhendu Mukherjee, and he want to know that digital divide is a big challenge in the in routine also. So how can we how can we handle it in the lockdown period doing field work?
Yeah, it is a very very important. My students have also, you want me to answer this in Hindi?
Yeah ma'am, you can please.
Okay. See, अभी क्या है कि अभी इंटरनेट का स्पीड हमारे पास है। अच्छा, तो मेरे कुछ और भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो इंटरनेट यूज नहीं कर पाते, वो गांव में रहते हैं, तो उनके लिए ये माध्यम बहुत डिफिकल्ट है कि हम व्हाट्सएप में कैसे मैसेज करें या तो डिजिटली। सो बेस्ट वे इज टू कॉन्टैक्ट देम ऑन द फोन। उनमें वॉइड रिकॉर्डर है, बात करने के टाइम में यू कैन ऑलवेज पुट द रिकॉर्डर ऑन, तो हम उसको ही डेटा ले सकते हैं कि हमने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा और ये आंसर हमें मिला, एंड देन यू कैन सिट एंड एनालाइज। दैट आल्सो कैन बी डन, क्योंकि हम फोन में बात करते हैं, फोन का नेटवर्क तो रहता है, मान लो इंटरनेट नहीं है पर फोन पकड़ रहा है, तो यू कैन ऑलवेज कॉल एंड गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन।
थैंक यू मैम. Another participant is Sarita Verma. वो जानना चाह रही हैं कि can ethics in research also be called as sensitive research?
Ethics is sensitive research is more of where you are focusing on sensitive issues. Okay, here you will have to, like one of my research I've worked on commercial sex worker. It's a very sensitive topic to go to the to red light area and collect the data, so that you can say it as a sensitive topic or something on child abuse or domestic violence. Here your ethical thing would be very very you need to be following उसको ethics जो हम बहुत strictly follow करेंगे कि हम जो cases ला रहे हैं एक prostitute का case ला रही हूँ मैं यहाँ पे कि वो किस तरीके से प्रोफेशन में आई है. So I should not be revealing. मैं उस चीज को रिवील नहीं करूंगी कि क्यों तो वो कौन है जो क्या बताई, मतलब आई कैन ऑलवेज एक्सप्लेन दिस सिनेरियो, बट इसके पीछे कौन फेस है वो मैं नहीं लाना नहीं चाहिए एज अ रिसर्चर. Similarly, if you are working on domestic violence or child abuse, तो उसको participants को you have to keep anonymous and you have to keep that ethics you have to practice it very strongly. So a topic is sensitive and ethics has to be followed sensitively.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question is from Sharad Raval. He wants to know that could you describe theme and code in qualitative research?
Themes when you are हम जब कोड लेते हैं, as I said, हम जब कोड लेते हैं कि कोड आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं टेक्स्ट में, देन कैटेगरी बनता है और थीम बनता है. कैटेगरी अर्थ और थीम. तो पहले क्या होता है, आपका कोड बनता है कि कोड क्या है. मान लो जो मैंने वेरिएबल्स लिया है, उस वेरिएबल से मैंने आइडेंटिफाई किया अपने टेक्स्ट में कि दिस आर माय कोड्स. उसके बाद उस हिसाब से मेरे जो कैटेगरी बनता है कि मान लो कैटेगरी इज द डिले, द 3 डिले मॉडल विच आई शोड, कि उस डिले में एक डिले था कि वो आइडेंटिफाई वो डिजीज को ही रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर पाते. दैट बिकम्स अ थीम. देन द अंडर द थीम्स डिफरेंट वेरिएबल्स दैट आई हैव यूज्ड बिकम्स द कोड.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Baburam Pani wants to know that is there any scope of testing the hypothesis in qualitative research also?
जैसे मैंने बताया कंटेंट एनालिसिस में हम हाइपोथेसिस लेते हैं. यस, many research are now using mixed method. वहाँ पे hypothesis लेना जरूरी है because you are using quantitative and qualitative both. तो वहाँ पे hypothesis testing करना बहुत जरूरी है. तो when you are going for a grounded theory approach, वहाँ पे जहाँ पे आपका कोई hypothesis नहीं है, वहाँ पे you are going by assumption, एक questions के हिसाब से जाते हैं हम field में data collect करने के लिए. वहाँ पे you are not taking hypothesis. When you are doing a content analysis, when you are doing content analysis or or having a theoretical approach, when you have taken a theory, there you need to, or a mixed method, when as I said, here you need to have a hypothesis to test it. Yes.
Thanks, ma'am. Ravi Prakash is another participant and he wants to know कि सामाजिक आर्थिक विकास से संबंधित अनुसंधान में गुणात्मक आंकड़ों का प्रयोग किस प्रकार से किया जा सकता है?
Can you please translate it for me in English so I understand?
Actually, ma'am, वो ये जानना चाह रहे कि क्वालिटेटिव जो डेटा है उसको हम कैसे यूज करेंगे सोशो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट से रिलेटेड अगर हमारा कोई रिसर्च वर्क है तो.
Obviously, जो मान लो मैंने आपने कुछ आंकड़े लिए हैं कि उनका हाउसिंग सिस्टम, सम ऑफ द हाउसेस डजंट हैव अ टॉयलेट, है ना. हमारे पास कुछ हाउस सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डेटा बोलता है टॉयलेट्स नहीं है और बीपीएल कार्ड नहीं है. तो रीजन क्या है उसका? सो दैट बिकम्स योर क्वालिटेटिव स्टडी. व्हेन यू, एज आई सेड फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग, मैंने शुरू से बोला कि हम रियलिटी को जानना चाहते हैं, आंकड़े के पीछे ये कारण क्या है. सोशियो इकोनॉमिक स्टडी वेयर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई दिस थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग. इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू डू अ क्वालिटेटिव स्टडी टू अंडरस्टैंड.
मैम, यही आगे एक क्वेश्चन और कर रहे हैं कि क्या क्वालिटेटिव और क्वांटिटेटिव दोनों तरह के जो डेटा हमारे पास में है उन दोनों को हम मिक्स कर सकते हैं और एक साथ उनको एनालिसिस कर किया जा सकता है क्या?
ऑफ कोर्स मेरा जो ये पेपर है आपने जो दिखाया मैंने जो 3D मॉडल पेपर है या तो ये जो नुस्बम सेंट्रल ह्यूमन कैपेबिलिटीज अप्रोच मैंने लेके जो किया है पेपर पब्लिश किया है आप देख सकते हैं उसमें मैंने मिक्स्ड मेथड यूज किया है बहुत यू विल सी इन फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ माय पेपर वहाँ पे लिखा होगा कि कितने वुमेन हैं कि उनका न्यूनेटल डेथ हुआ है कितने वुमेन में उनका उनके बच्चे हुए हैं उसके हिसाब से आई हैव कलेक्टेड द रीजन बिहाइंड दिस डेटा कि क्यों हुआ है क्या कारण हो सकता है so it is good that if you are using now many research are asking for mixed method many if you send for publication they're asking for mixed method approach so mixed method yes it is you can use both quantitative and qualitative.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Another question is that how to tackle inadequate sample problem in digital field work.
Sampling is another important technique. I didn't talk much about sampling. I'm sure in previous lectures they might have covered sampling.
Excuse
So
me, he wants to ask about the inadequate sample. If sample size is too low, then
yes,
how
you can use the, I remember when I did my study in London, I did in-depth interview of Sri Lankan asylum seekers, failed asylum seekers in London. So there were only 8 participants in my study where I did my work. So it has to have good amount of data, in-depth information to show that this reality is existing, as I said in phenomenology when you are using. So you need to justify that this is happening. Of course, you cannot, it is a big challenge that, how can you say that out of 8 participants, you cannot generalize your data, but you can always say that these problems are existing around. So yes, inadequate sampling is it is possible. If you are doing a case study approach, you can always do a case study of a particular individual. You can collect as much information as possible to justify your work.
Thank you, ma'am. But for this, I think your result or the research question should be as strong that you justified the low number of your data. Is it? Well, now, ma'am, there is another question, and it is from Manish Kumar Singh. And actually, it is not a question. वो एक guidance चाह रहे हैं. वो ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि how a research question should be written in a paper of policy so that the research result leads to policy change.
See, for policy change that required action research, okay. Okay, can you please read because I got little distracted. Sorry.
Actually, वो ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि हम किस तरह से एक रिसर्च क्वेश्चन को बनाएं कि वो पॉलिसी चेंज को लीड करने में सक्षम रखता हो.
Okay, research question that required, if you are looking for policy change that required a lot of experience at first place, okay, you need to work, action research is required. You need to understand the problem first, and then identifying those problems, you can bring the research questions that these are the problems that are existing which require to be addressed in the policy. For example, मैंने एक पॉलिसी पेपर अभी पॉलिसी जैसे डिस्प्लेस्ड कम्युनिटीज के बारे में और इंटरनली डिस्प्लेस्ड के बारे में इंडिया में नहीं ज़्यादा बोला गया है. वी डोंट हैव अ पॉलिसी फॉर दैट. सो मैंने क्या किया कि विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द प्रॉब्लम हाउ कैन आई राइट for a policy change or demanding for the policy. So first what I did is I wrote a paper on what are the problem existing. There is no data, people are not researcher like us are not getting access to where the people displaced people are staying, so we don't have a database. So after that the problems, I identified the problems, and those after that problems I question that we need to have policy for identifying a database where you can have a database of these IDPs where we can put them together and a researcher like us can have an access and we can have a further research on this issue. I hope I answered to Manish Kumar question.
In short, आपको उस पॉलिसी पे एक्चुअली अच्छे से कमांड हो जानी चाहिए जिसमें भी आप change करना चाह रहे हैं।
Exactly. You need to understand the problems first, and then if there are any policy existing or not, if there is any policy, what are the flaws in the policy, need to have the experience first to have a question on policy, to see demand or seek for a change in the policy itself.
Another question is from Dr. Shyam Babu, और वो ये जानना चाह रहे हैं मैम कि आर्थिक स्थिति में सुधार से संबंधित अगर हम कोई रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं तो उसमें किस तरह के उपकरण या शायद मेथड्स की बात कर रहे हैं कि मेथड्स को हमें यूज में लेना चाहिए।
If I understand the question properly, it is talking about the economical condition of the people.
Right.
Am I correct? So यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि हम पहले तो ये देखेंगे कि उनका सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन क्या है, तो वो कंडीशन जानने के बाद यू ट्राई टू डू, यू प्लान योर डिजाइन दैट कि क्यों देयर कंडीशन इज इधर हाई और लो, और इफ इट इज बीन अफेक्टेड, इफ दे आर गेटिंग एनी गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट और नॉट। सो उस चीज को जानने के लिए नीड टू डिजाइन अ क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च और अ मिक्स्ड मेथड, एज आई सेड, mixed method study to understand the such to work on this such kind of topic.
Thank you, ma'am. Another important question is from Manish Kumar. Ki, sometimes we are facing the problem of data saturation. So how to avoid it, or in another sense that how to handle this situation, ma'am?
See, very important question. Data saturation, where you realize, the researcher realize you are getting repeated same answer. You know, you are doing observation, you are doing interview, you are doing focus group discussion, you are getting same repeated answer. So at that point you have realized, okay, you have come to a data saturation, that we are not getting any new information. Until you are getting those kind of things, you need to continue with your data collection. If you are getting a new direction, you can always continue with the interview or survey or whatever. If you are planning for a long-term research, you need to follow until you reach the data saturation. Until you reach, you need to keep on collecting, because sometimes what happens, we may have biasness in our data. So to avoid that, you need to reach till you face the data saturation.
Thank you, ma'am. One more, that is CV George from the same, he wants to know that a little bit discuss on open and axial coding in qualitative research.
That required a first-hand workshop for coding, because I understand many of you have asked about coding and theme. उसके लिए एक प्रॉपर वर्कशॉप होना चाहिए अलग, जहाँ पे आपको अपने डेटा के साथ काम करने से you can understand, to work on your open end Excel coding.
Thank you, ma'am. थैंक यू सो मच। सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स की क्वेरीज को आपने बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल किया, और प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल आपने अपनी रिसर्च का देते हुए भी बताया, तो डेफिनेटली इनकी क्वेरीज बहुत अच्छे से सॉर्ट आउट हुई हैं। अब आगे के हमारे मॉडरेशन के लिए मैं डॉक्टर जेडी सोनी को डायस हैंड ओवर कर रही हूँ। सोनी सर।
Are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल।
Madhulika, for a nice presentation. Hello.
आवाज आ रही है जेडी सर, आप बोलें।
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Madhulika, for nice deliberation, and thank you, Renu, for the extended moderation and to take the question answer session. Madhulika talked about the qualitative research approaches and then activist approaches, and then she gave many examples of doing the qualitative research through the ethnography, where the details about the community can be taken through the observation or through participation method, but about the community in consideration. And then she talked about this narrative approach where she said that here we used to gather a sequence of events, and we know about any event or any individual in a temporal analysis. And then in case of phenomenology, it is a way of describing the phenomena around us in a detailed manner. Then in grounded theory, we are trying to provide an explanation or a theory behind any event. In this method, we are coming out with a new theoretical perspective. In case study method, we are a person or event or period or policies in a very detailed manner, and that are studied holistically by one or more methods. And this is descriptive as well as explanatory in nature. Then you talked about the participatory rural approach, where you said that it is part of action research, where research try to know the situation with the lens subjects under research. And then while talking about the techniques of qualitative research, you talk about the various about action, like you give some light observation method, where when we go observation, and talked about the participatory as well as the non-participatory observation method. And then you focused on this interview method, where you said that there are various kind of interviews: structured, semi-structured, unstructured. And have advised that when you are going for an interview method, you must share power, because if you will not do that, you are not going to get any notion about the reality. You talked about the four group discussion, where you said that we are in a group situation, and we are a researcher is in a role of moderator, and at the same time role of researcher is that is asking questions, seeing responses, finishing the focus group, and multiple responses. He is moving towards the, at the same time, many times he is handling many occupation also, and you give many examples that how we can avoid such situations, minimize such situations. Then you talked about this ethnography, where you said that how to collect data digitally, and like web-based this ethnography. You talked about ethnography of this virtual world, then this ethnography and this digital ethnography. You divided these three categories. Triangulation technique, you said, is a combination of different methods. And then you, in the later part, you talked about a very relevant aspect of the today's research environment, that is doing field work in lockdown. So how we can go digital in this entire new situation to collect the data. And you talked about the research in a digital space. And then you talked about the various techniques, like taking data through the WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp calls, video calls, through Skype, and through many other mediums where the technology used, where this form of communication is used, the data and information. You talked about the process of data collection, collecting data also in a digital manner, and then you gave focus on the analysis of data which you have collected. Then in section you focused on content analysis method, that in this we are going to test the hypothesis, or we are testing the theory around us. And you said that when we are collecting data with this method, we have enormous data set with us, so we have to go for data cleansing, and then this we have to transcribe the data and then analyze data using various kinds of codes. And then you said you have an example of your own paper, the 3 delay model the neural deaths. And in that stage, in this paper, you described a flow chart, or if I'm not through the path analysis, how the delays are correlated with the factors associated with delays. And then you give an example of the case approach with your own paper, where you have again do the exercise with the vulnerabilities and functioning, and this and you beautifully associated findings with that. Then you talked about computer quality data analysis. You gave example of Atlas.ti and many other software tools also you can use for this data analysis through the computers. And you talked about practices as well as fraud, and you compare both in a slide very beautifully. You have touched various aspects of qualitative research, and definitely our participants have got a new this sight or a new this enlightenment on this topic. Thank you, Madhulika. Thank you very much for your nice collation. And now for the formal vote of thanks, I request Dr. Om Prakash Saini to give formal vote of thanks.
To Munish sir.
Okay, Dr. Munish is hearing me?
जी sir.
Okay, Dr. Munish will give the full vote of thanks. Dr. Munish is controller of examination, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Shekhawati University.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। आज की वक्ता डॉक्टर मधुलिका साहू मैडम, आपका इस ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम में हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन। मैडम, आपने आंकड़ों का संग्रहण, समस्याओं का निवारण, आंकड़ों के विश्लेषण के बारे में बहुत विस्तार पूर्वक समझाया। आपके द्वारा बताए गए सॉफ्टवेयर से प्रतिभागियों को निश्चय ही रिसर्च में एक नई दिशा मिलेगी। मैडम, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एवं आभार। रिपोर्ट राइटिंग के लिए राइटिंग कमेटी की कन्वीनर डॉक्टर रेणु पूनिया मैडम, आपका भी बहुत बहुत आभार एवं धन्यवाद। दिनांक 3 अक्टूबर 2020 को हुए सेशन की आज हिंदी में रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत करने के लिए मुकेश स्वामी एवं इंग्लिश में रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत करने के लिए रेणु बगड़िया मैडम, आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एवं आभार। रिपोर्ट कमेटी के आज के रिपोर्ट लिखने वाले मेंबर शुभेंदु मुखर्जी एवं निमेश नारायण गौतम का बहुत बहुत आभार। इस प्रोग्राम के को-पैटर्न, मेंटर, कन्वीनर डॉक्टर जेडी सोनी सर एवं डॉक्टर रविंद्र कुमार सर, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी ओपी सैनी सर एवं समस्त ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टीम का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एवं आभार। साथ ही इस प्रोग्राम से जुड़े सभी प्रतिभागियों का भी बहुत बहुत आभार। पुनः आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एवं आभार। धन्यवाद सर। ओवर टू जेडी सोनी सर।
Thank you, Dr. Munish. And again, I must convey my thanks to Madhulika from the entire team. And we feel that whenever we will, whenever we feel that we need to know something about the qualitative research, we will definitely remember you. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation and delivering a talk.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। धन्यवाद सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को पेशेंटली सुनने के लिए। एंड सॉरी इफ देयर हैज बीन एनी interruption or any confusion during the lecture session. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, JD sir and Renu ma'am, for making the question in a very simple way. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि एक स्मूथ वे में आज का ये इवेंट अच्छे से गया। एंड थैंक्स सोनी सर फॉर कमिंग अप विद अ वेरी लॉन्ग कोर्स ऑन सोशल साइंस रिसर्च, जो कि बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है। इट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड आई कैन सी फ्रॉम द कोर्स कि जो टॉपिक में सर ने भेजा था कि बहुत सारे चीज़ें कवर है। एंड आई एम श्योर पार्टिसिपेंट्स बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस कोर्स विल बी taking so much with them. And I request all the participants, if you have any question, if you want anything to ask, feel free to contact me. मेरा email ID सर के पास है, मैंने अपना email ID share भी किया था, so you can always drop me a mail. I will be always happy to respond. Thank you again. Thank you entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, we will put your email address in the group, and at the same time we request you to share your presentation so that we will share the presentation with the participants.
Definitely sir, definitely.
Thank you, and I'm ending this meeting now.
Okay, thank you sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.